What's up, you guys? I'm Dan, this is Frugal Not Cheap, and today we'll look at my highlights from Tesla's recent Investor Day. It seems like some people weren't all that excited about Tesla's Investor Day. In fact, the stock fell quite a bit following the event, although it did recover a good amount in the following session. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that there wasn't really the unveiling of a new product. I kind of hoped that they would, but a lot of people were saying that that's not typically what they do at an Investor Day. And so they stuck to their pattern. There will be, at some point in the future date, a new product unveiling. But what they did do, the point of the presentation, I think, was to unveil Elon Musk's Master Plan Part 3, the next set of goals in order to try to push Tesla's mission forward, which is, of course, the advent of sustainable energy. And to do that, of course, Tesla would need to grow much, much larger, right? They wanted to give you a sense of what is the scope of the overall problem, and then how Tesla aims to address that to the extent that they can. And so that makes a lot of sense, given the invitation showed basically massive scale, because if you look at the pattern behind the lettering and making up the Tesla logo, those are actually parts of the car body sides, and so there's just loads and loads of them indicating massive scale. So Tesla frames the problem this way. Basically, our current economy based on fossil fuels requires about 165 petawatt hours per year, but a lot of that is actually just lost in terms of heat and just all kinds of inefficiencies in the system. And a lot of these would be addressed by sustainable energy, because we don't have all of those thermal losses when it comes to using electricity. And so these end-use efficiencies would actually mean that a sustainable economy would only require 82 petawatt hours rather than the 165, making the problem even that much more tractable. Tesla estimates that we would need worldwide about 240 terawatt hours of stationary storage, about 30 terawatt hours of renewable power, and this would require about a $10 trillion manufacturing investment. Of course, they're not going to do the whole thing, but they're going to do their small part to make that happen. So laying out all these investments and all the different components, they give us this slide, which shows that, we can reduce a lot of the fossil fuels out there by just making the grid renewable, by of course having the solar and wind generation as well as the storage. Then another big chunk of that, bringing us to over half, would be from moving to electric vehicles, which of course Tesla is doing a huge amount of work on. And then this is the big tease for the one new product that could happen in the future is a heat pump. Of course, they've already developed really good heat pumps for their vehicles that are in all the new vehicles now, but they'd be looking to do these for the rescom sector as well. And they say that could reduce fossil fuel use by 22%. On top of that, there is some high temp heat delivery and hydrogen use that they expect will still be necessary, and then maybe some sustainable fuels for long range travel like boats and airplanes. So those are all the different sectors that need to be addressed. And again, of course, Tesla's doing a lot on the EV front. And you can see here where Tesla's current models and soon to be in production models fit into kind of their view of what are the sizes of the different segments of vehicles that we need to address and electrify. So you've got about 40 million premium vehicles here. You can see the Model S and the Model X. Then you've got about 380 million of less luxury vehicles, sort of more attainable ones. We're looking at the Model 3 and the Model Y. Then about 20 million semis. So again, all of these are markets that Tesla is addressing now. Their semis are in production, and they're going to be building out the ability to produce a lot more of those out of Giga Nevada. And then 300 million of basically more work vehicles. So here we have Cybertruck, and we also have a teaser for a new product, which looks to me, based on the form factor, like a cargo van. So this would be like the Tesla version of the Ford Transit, something like that. Would be really, really impactful. And then finally, another big segment, 700 million, is the compact affordable car, which was a big focus of the tease of this presentation as well. Now, a quick side note though, again, Tesla knows it can't do all this alone, and so part of what they're doing is they'll be opening up their charging network to other vehicles. That's already happening in Europe, and it's starting to happen here in the US with what they call the Magic Dock, where if you have a non-Tesla car, you come up and you can use the app, and it'll allow you to unlock the charging stall that you're intend to use, and it will come out with the CCS adapter rather than just the Tesla charger. So again, though, we're looking at 700 million globally is what they think is going to be the fleet of these compact, affordable electric cars. And they said that their new platform, their next-gen platform, will be sort of a real platform. So it could be used for other vehicles. I don't know if it will be used as the platform for the cargo van, but it does seem to be like that could be the case. So we'll see. In any event, Tesla being Tesla, their goals are quite ambitious. They want to reduce the cost of their next generation vehicle by 50% from the current Model 3 and Y platform. One of the ways they're going to do this is by reimagining the way that manufacturing works. So currently, the way that cars are put together is a lot of it's put together, including the doors, and then painted, and then the doors are then taken back off, and then more assembly happens. And it's all done as this kind of body is moving along, the body in white. And so that can make a lot of the ergonomics of putting parts together quite difficult. So what they've decided to do is to do a more modular construction, which they're calling parallel and serial assembly. So some parts will be stamped and painted, and then there will be no more painting after that. And then other parts will be cast. So the cast components will be the front and the rear castings, as we're already seeing in Model Y construction out of Giga, Texas, and I think Berlin maybe. And of course, these castings will have a lot of components added on to them as well. So it's not just going to be those castings. They're going to have this kind of front and rear section put together at one time. Then the left and the right hand side of the car, those are the ones that are stamped and painted. And then again, you know, more of the production process added onto that, and then it will all come together on the line, along with the floor as well. So we can see here that unboxed process. You've got the rear casting with the seats included as well. You've got the front casting that houses all the HVAC stuff in all the front. Then you've got the floor, which is actually the structural battery pack with the seats plunked on top of it. And then you've got the two sides and the doors as well. And so that all comes together on the production line. So there's huge benefits to doing it that way. The ergonomics are going to be a lot better, which will mean they'll be able to automate a lot more of the processes. So they're going to reduce labor, they're going to increase uptime, and so it's just generally going to be a lot more efficient and cheaper to help drive that massive 50% reduction in cost of goods sold that they're planning on. On top of that, they're also going to be improving the drive unit. I'm pretty excited about this one. It's going to take 50% less of the space in the factory to build. It's going to require 0 rare earth metals. And the new drive unit will be about around $1,000, which is extremely cheap for something like that. On top of that, they're going to be reducing a lot of the costs in terms of copper wiring. They're going to be doing this by moving everything to a 48-volt architecture from the current 12-volt architecture. Because you have a higher voltage, then you don't need to have nearly as thick of wires in order to carry. And they're also doing a lot of simplification of all the wiring as well. They're going to be moving all of the controllers, which will be 100% Tesla built, to put them on an Ethernet network. And so then they're all going to be able to be upgraded and kind of changed over time. So they're going to be able to do a lot of stuff by software updates with future vehicles that they're not able to do now. So the end result, the whole point of this, the huge reduction in cost, is going to mean a very, very affordable EV for the mass market. This was always the goal behind Tesla and why we should be really excited about this push. So you can see here the base Model 3, the rear-wheel drive, has a total cost of ownership that's cheaper than the Toyota Corolla. However, that's the total cost of ownership. That's not the initial upfront cost. And so this is going to address that. The next generation vehicle will have a much lower TCO than that. But of course, the entry price, the sales price, is going to be much more affordable as well. So people will actually be able to get in the car, not just, kind of have that TCO over time. Tesla also teased some upcoming products in terms of energy storage, and that'll be something to be excited about. And they're really going to ramp up that part of the energy and storage side of the business. Is really ramping up as well, and something to definitely keep an eye on in the coming quarters. But really the only big concrete announcement that we had, besides all these teasers about how they're going to achieve this master plan and all the massive improvements that are coming with the Gen 3 platform, is where the next gen platform is going to be built, and that's in Monterrey. It's going to be built in Nuevo León, Mexico. So really exciting. This is going to be on par with Giga Austin as one of the largest buildings in the world, and a very ambitious and exciting project. And then the last thing I want to mention, which is, not a point to, I think, be missed, is that Elon did show some progress with the Optimus humanoid robot. It showed that the robot is now walking, a robot that was not walking back on AI Day. So of course, a lot of the actions for the video would have been scripted and everything like that. It's just more like a showcase than what it's able to do in a really generalized sense. But point being, they're making progress on that thing. And depending on how quickly they can make progress with the humanoid robot, well, that's really going to be a huge, just monumental change in technology, and something definitely to keep an eye on. Yeah, that's, I think, long-term, that and just the AI efforts, FSD in general, are the really big ones. But looking more closely in time, the big thing will be this Gigafactory Mexico. Tom Zhu hopes to have it go from groundbreaking to production in a shorter time than Giga Shanghai, which was very fast at about a year, right? 9 months to build, and then about a year before meaningful production was going on, I believe. I'm not good at remembering timelines and dates, but anyway, very fast. And so we'll see. Tom Zhu is overseeing this, and we may well get a very welcome surprise, getting this factory up and running by sometime next year, and then hopefully meaningful production of this third-gen vehicle, not too long after that. So I'm very excited. I thought Tesla Investor Day was pretty awesome. Yes, it was a lot of technical stuff and very long, so not great for kind of the casual speculator or something like that, but for an investor like me, someone who is really invested in the long term for this company, it's very exciting. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.